I am God Apophis. I'm doing a video well, it's an update on my watch collection. And just to tell you my latest stories. So, I bought 2 new watches. So, I'll tell you the story. Okay, so, yeah. So I called a watch shop, and I said, I'd be in at lunchtime today to get 2 watches, and I went to bed at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I couldn't sleep. Well, I went to bed at like 5:30 in the morning. I couldn't sleep, and I thought, you know what, I'm never gonna wake up on time. So I thought I'll get out of bed, have a few coffees, drive there, and when the shop opened, I managed to get my watches, and I came back home. And obviously, I'm tired. Whew. I mean, I slept. I slept all day, and I'm still tired. So yeah. So I got my watches. Look, if you've watched my previous videos, which I hope you have, but you probably haven't, I'll repeat myself once again. I talk about, well, I say I'm God. I am God. And my channel is documenting who I am. I'm trying to say who I am and what this world is all about and what's happening and why is this, a thing. And in all videos, I mention how the difference between spirit and the physical material realm, right? You have physical matter, you have, matter in Latin means mother. People talk about Mother Earth, and and I talk about how Freemasonry and tarot and sex magic and anal sex magic, anus and shit magic and all this stuff, right? Because shit is literally, it's matter, it's material, yeah, and it has to, it's important in magic. Okay, this is how magic really works. You have the physical and you have the non-physical spirit. Okay, I'm God, and I'm spirit of God. I'm in this body. Yeah, that's just how it is. So I spoke about my experience when I bought my Omega watch, and how the guy who sold it to me was called Joshua. And I told them, I said to him, and I was buying the this Omega watch, and I said, yeah, well, about Yeshua, which means Joshua. Some would say it means Joshua, right? It's like the old spelling of Joshua. And how a lot of people say, obviously the name Jesus and Jesus and Yeshua, and how those are connected, right? And I said, what Jesus said. You know what God said? He said, "I am the Alpha and the Omega. I'm the first and the last." Right? I mean, that's why I bought the watch. That's why I bought an Omega, because, well, Omega is a brand. It's a logo. What's the logos? Who is the logos? The logos. That's Greek for the Word. The Gospel of John, it talks about the Word. The Word was God. Okay? God manifests through speaking. Yeah? I manifest through speaking. That's why I do these videos. That's why I'm causing so much chaos in the world. And people don't believe me. Well, that's the thing. The more chaos that happens, the more people are going to have to ask questions. And I'm just going to have to do whatever it is I have to do to keep going. And eventually things will get better for me. And eventually things will get worse for everybody else, because they've been naughty children. Naughty people. well, I wouldn't say it, you know what I mean? It's well, I wouldn't even want to call them children, to be honest. They're, I created everybody. I created everything. Those who love me are my children. Those who hate me, those who attack me, those who do witchcraft against me, they're not my children, as far as I'm concerned, because they don't love me. All they want to do is destroy me. So, what do you want to call it? Anyway, I've spoken in my previous videos talking about, how, dog is the opposite of God, right? In magic, to really see how magic works, you have to learn how to use, how to see things in reverse. Because the reverse, right? If you said to someone, "Let me see your reverse," I mean, what do you think that, what does that imply? What would you think? You said, "Hey, let's see your reverse," turn around. Well, that makes, you know what it means. Yeah, you know what it means, right? And it's important because in magic, just because you think, oh, that wouldn't make sense, that's not how you're supposed to interpret it, or, or it's spelled different, or it sounds, or whatever it is, right? The fact is, with magic, you have to understand that it can work in lots of different ways that you wouldn't expect it to. Anyway, it's really interesting because I bought 2 new watches, right? I bought 2 Citizen watches. Now, I'm a citizen. I'm a British citizen called Grant. Obviously, you have a lot of migrants coming into, countries, yeah, this country as well, who you would say are not citizens, yeah. Anyway, excuse me. Whew, yeah. Sorry. Anyway, I've got 2 new watches. So, I got a full moon. Well, I got a moon watch. Okay. Well, it's a Citizen Tsukiyomi with a grey-white dial. So probably can't see that well because I need to switch a light on. Hang on. So maybe you can see that. It's yeah. So it's a super titanium, I think. It's a titanium watch. It's a high quality titanium watch, and it's got atomic time keeping, and it's radio controlled. It picks up the signal. So I tried this yesterday, and I checked it. I just pushed the button, and it said that it hadn't received a signal. So I set it to receive. I put it down. I checked it 5 minutes later. I didn't put it near a window or anything. I just turned it to a certain angle I thought it might work at. And on my first attempt, it worked. And apparently, it connects to a signal tower in Germany. Apparently. And so it keeps atomic time, and I tell you what, it's absolutely precise. It changes at exactly the same time my computer does, and my other atomic time watch does. So it's very precise. It's solar powered, so it's eco drive, so yeah, all it needs is sunlight. All it needs is sunlight, or what I might buy is get one of those UV lamps, or whatever it is. You get, it's just like it's like a solar watch lamp. You can buy them specifically for solar watches. and I think I saw one earlier. It was like £25 for a USB one. How good it is, I don't know, but I'll have to investigate it. I'll see what I can find. It's really cool. So it tells you the day, what day it is. It's got the date. It's got an AM, PM dial. You can set it to all the time zones. There's all these different time zones, so it's very easy to just switch it from one time zone to another. And on the back of the dial, it's got all the different names of the time zones, like city names and stuff. So you can, you know where things are. You got the summertime settings as well. You can do manual settings. Yeah, and the cool thing about this is it's Tsukiyomi, the woman who at the shop who she was the manager, right? She sold me the watches. Her name is Lana, and she sold me the watches. And what was I going to say? Yeah. So what was I going to say? Yeah. So this is a moon watch. Okay. She gave me a booklet. There was a booklet she had, and I can't remember what it says. So she said that these are. She said, "Oh, these are new. These are new. They've just come in." And so they've just come in, and I can't remember what it said. Tsukiyomi. What does it mean again? I can't remember now. I'll have to look on the Citizen website. But I've also heard that, Tsukiyomi, it refers to God of the Moon in Shintoism. Obviously, it's a Japanese watch. Yeah. And so it's got, it's got a moon. You see at the bottom circle on the dial. You see it's almost set to a full moon there. So you're getting reflections on my screen. Hang on. Can we not get the... Yeah, you can see it there. It's reflecting my computer screen like crazy. You can see, look. You can see. There you go. You can see what I'm recording on. Anyway. Yeah, it's a nice watch. It's a nice watch. It retails. There's 5 different colors on the dials. So you got the white, grey moon, and then there's a blue. So you can say once in a blue moon, or you got a red one, which looks like a blood moon, and then there's a green one. I've never seen a green moon before, but anyway. And there's a black one, which I suppose would represent maybe a new moon. They retail at £699. I got 10% off. Anyone who buys a new Citizen watch, if you on their website, you get a 10% discount. So, and because there are all the IT issues going on, because of all the IT issues that are going on, I was having a bit of trouble on their website, on the websites I was looking at. And I just thought, I just asked the shop. I just thought, would they give me a 10% discount if I came into the shop? And they said, yeah. So I did that. And they had this one in stock as well, which was the other one I wanted. This is a limited edition. I'll take this off. Hang on. This is it's a chronograph watch. It's a bullhead, so it's a Citizen bullhead. So it's got, you can see it's on a leather strap. It's a limited edition, so there's only 3,000 of these that were made. So it's got a chronograph. I think it's my first chronograph watch, actually. I think. Yeah, I think it would be. Yeah. So yeah, I'm still learning about all this stuff, really. Anyway, that's a solar powered watch. It's not atomic timekeeping, so it has to be set manually. But it's a very nice looking watch. It's very different. It's my only gold looking watch. This has been people talk about the film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Brad Pitt. It was directed by Quentin Tarantino, and in the film, Brad Pitt wears the character he plays. He's wearing a Citizen Bullhead, and so it became quite popular. People liked the look of it, and it was on a particular type of strap, a particular type of leather strap, which isn't like this one, but yeah, people liked that one. I saw this one. Well, I had my reasons for buying this watch. I think one of the women at the shop, they asked me, so why would you want to buy? What? So is there a particular reason why you want this watch? And I said, well, I didn't say, why I do the things that I do, because what's the point? Can you imagine the looks I'd get if I start telling people, yeah, I'm God. I'm basically like the most super powerful wizard on planet Earth in the universe that exists. I'm extremely powerful, and I'm doing magic. Essentially, I know how magic works, and so I do things because of magic. How do you think that conversation would go? Actually, it's a lot better for me just to record it in a video so people can go through it and listen to it themselves. It's easy to do it that way, really, isn't it? Whether, yeah, you never know. People do spy sometimes, you never know. It's happened to me before. It has. In fact, I've gotten in lots of trouble before because, in the years, where people would, we'd have a conversation, and then they find out my name, and the next thing they do, they look me up on Facebook. And then, and I walk outside, and it's like everyone's like, yeah. Crazy shit's happened to me in my life. Anyways, whatever, right? I don't care. So this is, you can see it's got really, you see that color, how it plays with the light. That's quite cool, actually. It's got quite a interesting, almost looks like a magnifying glass kind of look. It's a nice watch. Obviously, it's got 200 meters of water resistance, but obviously have to look after the leather strap. And it's got a very particular, you see that bit there, that's where it connects to the watch, to the case. It's a very, you can see it's a very thin bit there. It's very thin. Anyway, getting a different leather strap for this would probably be quite hard, I would think. So I better look after it. Yeah, hang on a second. I need a bit of nicotine here. Well, this is the interest. I was talking about sex magic, anal sex magic. It's real. I'm not making this. This is not some minor point that I'm trying to make. This is like a huge problem. This is like, it's really anal sex magic is really crazy. You have to understand. Look at Freemasonry. Okay, you have the one eye symbolism. Yeah, the eye of Providence. You think about you have the eye of Horus in Egyptian mythology, right? And what was it, the eye of, I can't remember. But anyway, you look at a dollar bill. What do you have? You have the all-seeing eye. Yeah. It all has to do with the third eye. It's the part of the body that looks like a star. It winks. Yeah. My mother, okay, the woman that I came back to this world, I'm God, right? I was born in 1987, and I came through a woman's body, strangely enough, and her name was Fee. Okay, look at this. This is absinthe. That says La Fee, and then you got the I. It sees, right? La Fee sees. Shit. And this is strong spirit. You notice how this is a 68% alcoholic beverage. This is strong spirit. This is witchcraft. This is what this is. Okay? So the woman who sold me the watch, and I was quite, I wasn't shocked really. I mean, this is, for me, everywhere I go, everything I do, and if you go back to the video where I talked about my Omega watch when I bought it, yeah, I said the same thing. Every time I go anywhere, anytime I try to interact with people, the world is reflecting me real hard. There's always a battle of magic happening. And so, I'm there buying a moon watch the day before the full moon. Because, well, it's today. I bought it today, right? And the full moon is basically, well, it's tomorrow. It's today, tomorrow, okay? Well, according to the watch, it says it's tomorrow. By the looks of it, I'm still waiting for it to go over, to move over. Anyway, I mean, that's the thing. Her name is Lana, okay? What's that backwards? Spell that backwards. Yeah, it's a very interesting name, right? And I'm sitting there, and she said, oh, she liked my t-shirt. Yeah, she said, oh, I like your t-shirt. I'm sitting here, I've got my crystal skull, and I got my skull t-shirt. And hang on a second, let me just put this watch back on. And the thing is that this is can you read that? It says Aztec Warrior. It's a brand new t-shirt. Well, I put it on today. It's the first time I've worn it. I've actually got about 500 t-shirts. I've got like hundreds and hundreds of t-shirts that I haven't even worn yet. Just I've got a bedroom where the bed is literally just, the entire bed is just covered in t-shirts. Because I went on I did what I did. People will say, why the hell would you do that for? Well, think about what I'm talking about. I'm talking about magic. I'm talking about brands and logos and words. The power of words and art. Yeah. I mean, that's all I do. I do magic. I learn about magic because I have to. Because the world is having a witchcraft battle with me. I'm God. And I have to do this battle with people. Anyway, I made the point about her name. And the fact, I bought a moon watch the day before the full moon. So yeah, strange. Yeah, more strange stuff. I mean, that's the thing. My life is just strange thing after strange thing after strange thing after strange thing. It's all that ever is. It's a never ending. See, to most people, they wouldn't recognize it. They'd be like, what are you on about? But that's the thing. They don't know magic. They don't understand how magic works. I do. I've been through a lot of crazy stuff to get to this point. I mean, it took a lot for me to open my eyes. It took a lot for me to go, oh, I see what's going on here. I just used to notice weird coincidences all the time, like weird news articles and weird, like weird stories and weird YouTube videos and people making weird comments and videos as if they were talking to me and stuff like that. It's like, what the fuck's going on? And I realized that's the thing, because there are lots of demons, there are spirits, there are demons, there are invisible forces that are at work that spy on me, and evil people who don't love me. Well, that's the thing, we're always doing a witchcraft battle. We're always battling one another with magic. And I want to, well, that's the thing, I say I am God Apophis. So, if you don't know who God Apophis is, or Apep, Egyptian mythology. Yeah, go take a look. I'm God. There's only one God, and that's me. I've chosen that name for myself. Okay. The fact is, I am. There is no other God apart from me. There really isn't. There are a lot of people who wish they were me. Or they wish they had my power. They may not wish to actually live my lifestyle. They definitely wouldn't want my lifestyle. I'll tell you that much. I mean, I might have, a nice car and some nice watches, but apart from that, you know what I mean? Like, my life isn't that, I mean, no one to talk to, no family or friends. I don't even have a pet cat or a pet dog. I mean, and everyone's doing witchcraft against me. I mean, it's not exactly, a lot of fun. Well, it can be fun. I've had to learn to enjoy what I do to some extent, obviously. I mean, it's exciting. It really is. I mean, look what happened. Look what happens, like Donald Trump's getting shot at, and, we got global IT outages and shit like that. Yeah. I was an IT guy. I was a Cisco IT network engineer. We used to work for the NHS. I left the NHS. Yeah. I left the NHS to do Bitcoin trading, and then did that for 3 years, and well, I survived for 3 years. Let's put it that way. And then I ran out of money. So, and after that, well, you had there's coronavirus, all that stuff. This is the thing. The world is. That's the thing. Those who don't love God are of the world, and the world works with the demons. And the world, if you're of the world and you work with demons, well, you're going to get. You're essentially, all you're going to do is destroy. That's the thing. The demons don't care. That's the thing. People who are of the world don't care about. They don't love one another. So you're all expendable. That's the thing. The evil demons that wish they were me, they don't care about getting rid of. They just see the rest of people who are of the world. Just look at you as expendable. If you're just cannon fodder for this war against me. That's it. The only way to live is to love me. The only way to get to heaven is to love me. I mean, now the situation is basically I'm the serpent on the pole. I'm the serpent on the pole in the wilderness. The Bible story, Moses was told, God told Moses. I told Moses, fashion a serpent, make a cast of a snake, a serpent, put it on a pole. And the Israelites are to look at the serpent on the pole, the snake on the pole, and if they look at it, they'll be saved. If they don't look at it, then they'll get attacked by deadly snakes and vipers, right? Poisonous snakes. And that's essentially, that's really what is happening in the world. This is the situation. Nobody wants to pay any attention to me. Those who do, I'm the serpent on the pole. I really am the serpent on the pole. I mean, obviously you don't see a pole, but I do have an invisible pole that's stuck behind me. I sit on it. Yeah, funny story. It's true, isn't it? Yeah, it's true. I sit on a pole. A rod of iron. People think it's meant to be literal, but it's metaphorical. It's Do you know what I mean? It's a, yeah, you know what I mean? It's in a, you know what I'm saying, right? You know, that's the thing. That's how the Old Testament and the New Testament's written. You know, it's all about, you have, you know, people often wonder, do you take something literally or metaphorically or whatever, you know? Is it, how is it written? You know, you've got to be able to figure it out. And that's the thing. People try to figure out, but what they don't, most people don't know, is that words have, they manifest, they have power. The words have a power. Words are magic. Stories are magic. Art is magic. Everything's magic. But the words of God are, you know, like, yeah, you can't, yeah, it's very, very, extremely powerful stuff. Anyway, give me a second here. So yeah, I've got this bullhead watch, Citizen Bullhead. So what happened to Donald Trump? Yeah, he got a bullet fly past his head. Bull it. Bull it. It. Bull. Bull it. Bullhead. Bullhead watch. Citizen Bullhead. Okay. Yeah. I'm doing magic. Or really what I'm doing is I'm breaking people's magic against me. It's their witchcraft against me, and I'm stopping it from working by doing what I do. That's why I have to do what I do, you know. I might seem like some crazy guy who's got too much money, spending too much money on watches, but honestly, I do what I do. You know, as much as I do, I can appreciate, you know, the watches for what they are. At the same time, it's like, well, yeah, I mean, it's the logos, it's the brands, it's the names, it's the words, it's how it's put together, you know. Yeah, magic's a very complicated thing. It's taken me a lot of, you know, I have quite a high IQ, you know, I'm somewhere between 135, 140, you know, I wouldn't call myself an idiot or anything. But it took me a long time to figure this out. It took me a long time to really piece together, like, what is this all about? Like, how does this work? Do you know what I mean? It's like discovering gravity. You know what I mean? Well, it's like discovering, yeah, I mean, it's, I mean, think about it, right? In science, you have theories, right? You know, you have lots of different theories about things. You know, people want to have a theory about, you know, whatever, but the fact is that my understanding of magic and witchcraft, well, it's, you know, I don't have a hard, you know, I don't have a book that describes it the way I understand it, but you know, my theory is, you know, my understanding of it is constantly, you know, getting better and better at it every day. I always have to look around and see, you know, look what's going on in the world, and I can see how what's going on, and it's very complicated. Wow, it's so exhausting as well to sit and think about it all day long. It's like, oh, I'm so tired of it. Anyway, I have to keep going. Anyway, I've got my Citizen watches, so I'm happy. So I've got, oh yeah, so this was £895. But I got they were nice to give me a 10% discount on that, so I'm happy with that. Hang on a sec. Came in a nice box. So I'll show you the box. So here's the Citizen box. I think they tend to come in different boxes. I've seen some come in gold boxes, gold plastic boxes, but anyway, this is the box it comes in my one. Whoa, you probably can't read that, but it's got this metal. So you maybe just want to read that. Can we get that? So, it's a ProMaster Bullhead limited edition. So it comes in a nice box, basically. Okay, so yeah, so what else can we talk about? All my videos are very, I speak about lots of different things. So yeah, I guess a lot of people think, oh, you must have ADHD or something. You can't seem to stay on the same topic very long. But the thing is, to understand the truth, you have to really be able to see. You have to be able to see how everything connects. And it's such a huge thing to look at. You have to be able to build a mind map of all the different things and how they all connect together, and it's very hard. It's very, very hard to you have to look at everything and see how everything relates to one another. Yeah, it ain't easy, that's for sure. It's so complicated that most people wouldn't even have, that's the thing, people don't want to know. It's exhausting. It's exhausting to even think about. So, I think I could have I have some absinthe in a bit. Maybe not now. Yeah, probably not now. Yeah. Oh, so what else can we talk about? This global IT outage. I just keep thinking about the guys I used to work with, or the assholes I used to work with. Yeah. Thinking about them. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? Because, obviously I went on my days out, right? I was driving. I drove there and I drove back. I don't do very much driving usually. Probably some of the longest trips I've done in a while. I don't go out very often. It's so rare. The only time I ever go out is just go to get a bit of food from the nearest supermarket, which isn't very far away. Like driving across the street, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. So the problem with the update from, was it CrowdStrike? It was like a driver file or something. It was like a driver update, and it was I think the software it was third-party access. It was a third-party software, CrowdStrike software, which is supposed to it's like I'm not quite sure. Well, it's to provide protection from hacking, isn't it? Pretty much. It's like a hacker defense software, right? And like analytics stuff, something like that, right? And so they put out this driver file, which is supposed to, it interacts with the kernel, Windows kernel, the kernel part of the operating system, which is, it's the central part of the operating system. So yeah, that's not good, is it? I mean, it has some issues there, huh? Interesting, isn't it? So it was a driver crash. So it was a driver software that caused a crash. Yeah, driver crash. Anybody? No. Yeah. And obviously, the fact that I went to a cash machine for the first time in probably over a year the other day. I went 2 days ago. I think it was 2 days ago, and I took out £20 from a cash machine because I had a new card and I had to register it with the machine. And then everyone's using cash machines now. Like, oh, we all got to go back to cash. Yeah, what a coincidence. Well, that's the thing. There would have been a time when I would have thought, oh wow, what a coincidence. But then that shit happens every day. Yeah, again and again and again and again and again and again. It's like, why do I keep noticing these coincidences? Like, what the fuck? Like, how do these keep happening? Like, is someone trying to communicate with me, or is like, what's going on? Like, why is this? This like someone playing a game with me here. It's like, but that's what it is. It's demons and the world battling me in witchcraft. Is witchcraft against me. I'm God. I know who I am because very, very crazy things have happened to me. I'm surrounded by spirits. I literally have spirits around me. I have, when I go to bed, the spirits are in my bed. Yeah, that's yeah. That's my life. That's, yeah. I mean, I have some good fun, It's true. It really is true. It's true. It's a mad story, but who would want to believe it? Who would want to believe it? Anyway, I wish somebody would. I wish someone would at least give me half a chance to explain myself, but people write me off as a complete maniac. Total freaking lunatic. And, so all I do is just keep making videos, explaining again and again, and, while more chaos happens, more and more chaos, more destruction, more problems, more people die, disease, poverty, scandals, crazy stories, and on it goes. Day after day after day after day, year after year. Okay, it just keeps going. People don't want to listen, so it really is the story of I'm the serpent on the pole. I'm the snake, the serpent on the pole. Okay, that people are supposed to look at. If you don't look at me, destruction happens. So that's how it goes. That's the deal. That's how it works. I'm trying to get people to look at me. I'm trying to get people to pay attention to me for their own sake. But if people don't want to do that, then that's the thing. When everyone starts paying attention to me, things like money and success, and I'll probably be living in big houses, lots of really nice cars, lots of women and stuff, right? Yeah, and I'll be rolling around in money probably at that point. But until then, well, I've got quite a bit of money. I don't have to work. I haven't worked for 3 years. I've got plenty of money to spend. I'm having a bit of fun. I'm learning stuff. I need to learn for my own benefit. So I could probably do some things like improve my health and so on. you know, I got time. I got time. I'm 36 years old. 666. Yeah, you're 36. 36. Blah blah blah. Yeah. So you know, I'll just keep going. Watch the world suffer. You know, it's entertaining for me. You know, it can be entertaining. It's a bit of a drag. You know, it's a bit annoying having to wait and trying to like get people to listen to me. But you know, it is what it is. I have to just wait. And yeah, you know, I'm not afraid to die. I'm not afraid to leave this world. I'm not afraid to leave this body. I'm not. I'm not. I will keep going though until I can't go anymore. You know, if you're watching this video and you think, you know, I'm a loser, I got it bad, you know, like what a loser. You know, the situation is that I'm winning. It might not look like I'm winning to you, but the truth is the world is losing, and it's every day that goes by is getting worse and worse and worse, and it's only a matter of time. Yeah, it's only a matter of time. People are running out of time. Excuse moi. Okay. Yeah, the world's running out of time. People need to listen. Yeah, I'll tell you a story about my last job. So when I worked in IT, so back in about, I don't know, so let's go back, you know, I had a girlfriend about 12 years ago. Her name was Anna, or Ania, and she lived with me for a year. We separated. I couldn't live with her anymore. I was going crazy, and she didn't want to move out and stay. She didn't want to stay a couple unless she moving out was a deal breaker, basically. So she said, you know, if she has to move out, that's it. It's over. Bye. I'm like, okay then, bye. And then after that, I never had a girlfriend again. And I really, I got really depressed. I had lots of, after she left, my life, I was in a really bad place before she left. And then after she left, I was still in a really bad place. With drug problems and stuff. And anyway, I had a job. I was working in Brighton for the NHS as an IT guy. And I got promoted, and then I was third line support, doing network engineer. I was a Cisco certified network engineer, and I was doing infrastructure support, servers and stuff. I was learning a lot. So, and they didn't really train me very much. It was basically just left me to get on with it, and wouldn't give me any training either. I asked for training. I asked for paid training. The salary wasn't that great, so someone's got to fucking pay for it. But no, they wouldn't do that because they were scared I was going to run away. They're like, yeah, but if we train people, they're just going to leave. It's like, well, what a great fucking plan you've got there. Anyway, I did the best I could, right? All things considered. So I worked there for, I don't know how many years, 4 or 5 years. I used to work at the Royal Sussex County Hospital in Brighton, Brighton and Sussex University Hospitals. And I used to, I'd go to different hospitals as well. So Princess Royal Hospital in Horsham, and it's Brighton General. I used to go to Brighton General Hospital sometimes. And I used to work above a data centre. And I'd work in the data centre as well, because I'd go down there to do work. Yeah, it was an interesting job. You know, having to configure and work with very expensive hardware, you know, like £50,000, you know, £100,000 servers and stuff like that, you know. It's like, yeah, quite a move up from, you know, a £500 desktop computer. But anyway, it is what it is, right? Nice to go around all the network cabs, you know, like the networking around all the hospitals, like, wow, you know, going into all the network cabs and just like spaghetti wires everywhere. Anyway, so the story I've got here, right? So I used to work with a guy. Well, he was second line. He was client devices, and his name was Neil Worrell, and he was a real piece of shit. That guy, a real piece of shit. I mean, this guy. Okay, so his story was that he served in Afghanistan, so he's probably about 10 years older than me. So he was ex-army. He likes things like, you know, rock climbing and shit like that, right? That was one of his hobbies. So apparently his story was, you know, he got married, he had 2 daughters with a woman, and then he left her, and then he married another woman, and he had 2 daughters with her, and one of them was disabled. He had a disabled daughter. And anyway, I'd basically gone through this period of, you know, a dry spell with women. It was like, yeah, I can't, you know, this is when I started like watching MGTOW videos, and I was like, yeah, I can't, you know, women are stressing me out too much. Like, you know what I mean? Like every relationship I was having with people, I felt like I was just getting closer and closer to falling off that edge, off the cliff. I was like, yeah, I can't live like this. I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Something terrible's gonna happen to me if I keep messing around with people, especially, you know, with women. It's gonna lead somewhere really bad. So, my life was, you know, a total mess. And I looked so scruffy, you know. I'd come to work every day, and I'd look. I was Mr. Scruffy, you know. I'd turn up 15 minutes late every day. And then I thought to myself, they'll never sack me. They'll never get rid of me because I'm too good. You know, I knew I was too good. I was good value for money. You know, why get rid of me? Doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's the thing. It's a public sector. You know, a lot of the people who work there, they're not really there to, you know, that ambitious. A lot of people. A lot of them tend to be dossers. You know, they want, you know, and and everyone's trying to, you know, protect their job, and, you know, they want to do this specific, you know, people have, you know, are, you know, but I was, you know, I tried to be ambitious. I tried to be, you know, like, do you know what I mean? I tried to do whatever needed to be done. You know, I'd be like, yeah, whatever you need me to do, I'll give it a go. And so I got lumped with a lot of work. So I was very stressed out, and I wasn't getting paid any more than, you know, someone on second line who, you know, just fixes a desktop computer or just installs some software for someone. You know what I mean? Like, easy peasy job. And then I'm doing something that's a lot more technical, and it's like, well, I don't get paid any more than they do. You know, I was a band 5. You know, I was a band 5. I did have an interview for a band 7 and a band 6 before I left, but I was like, nah, I didn't want to. I basically went in the interview. I was like, yeah, I'll do the job, but I only want to work 4 days a week. So, how dare you? How dare you, little bastard? Get out of here. Anyways, the story is, right, so there's this guy, Neil Worrell, and this guy's fucking crazy. You know, you can tell that he's got this real sort of you know, he's got to prove himself. You know what I mean? He's a scout. He's got that sort of scoundrel personality. You know, wants to, you know, sleeps around, and he's into, you know, he's obviously into all kinds of like BDSM and stuff like that, right? Yeah, he thinks, you know, he's not the kind of guy I would trust. I mean, like, you know, he was in a freaking war zone. Do you know what I mean? He was in Afghanistan. I always often wondered, like, you know, what would he have done, like, in a situation where, you know, he's the army guy, you know what I mean? He's in the army, he's got a gun, you know, let's say he found a, you know, woman, You know, when he was in that, you know, I'm just wondering, like, you know, what kind of guy was he? What kind of stuff would he have done? Like, like really freaking twisted. Like something seriously wrong with that. The guy's like really mentally ill. Like, well, he's demon possessed. He is a demon. You know what I mean? He's very evil. Okay, look. Anyway, I was working in this job, and there was an Eastern European woman called Clara, and she used to work for Canon. She used to do printer stuff for the hospital, and I had a bit of a crush on her. I'll be honest. Well, they all knew it. Yeah. Anyway, I had a crush on her, but she was, I thought, yeah, really pretty woman, and she was being really sweet, and I just felt like, wait, hang on, I didn't want to get involved with her, right? And I had to keep my distance from her. I'm like, I just felt her just, trying to sink her fangs into me. You know what I mean? It's like, no. But, I felt sorry for her because I felt like I treated her badly. And then what happened was she started banging Neil when he's a married guy. And I heard in the office, and the guys are like, he was talking to one of the bosses, and the boss was saying, well, he was saying to the boss, he was like, yeah, my wife, she doesn't treat me very good at home, and she makes me wash the dishes and stuff like that, and blah, 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 blah. He's trying to make out he's got a really terrible relationship with his wife. The fact was, he had a wife who worked in London who probably earned 3 times as much money as he did, and I think, he's just the kind of guy who just needs to sleep around. He has, he feels inadequate in some way. He's insecure. He's got some major insecurities. He's got to, he has to do what he has to do to, to fix his, to make himself feel better about himself, I suppose. Something like that. Anyway, he started banging this woman, Clara. And, I'm very certain they were just doing it, during the workday. Yeah, and that's the thing, the hospital, like, think about it, there's all kinds of rooms that are unused, there's locked rooms, there's, all kinds of places people can go if you got the key card to get in to places. I had a key card, I could get into all kinds of places. Do you know what I mean? I often wondered if I would find them in a place I'm supposed to be working, I'd be going out to, like, anyways, that's the thing. Some real dodgy shit was going on. I was very unhappy about it, and I'd grown quite attached to her. And everyone in the office was like, treating him like he's God. Like he's, oh wow, you're so cool, Neil. Look at you banging Clara, cheating on your wife. You got a daughter who's in a wheelchair, and oh, congratulations, mate. You're doing fucking great for yourself. Oh look, now you're getting a fucking promotion to be a project manager. Wow, well done, you cunt. Well done, yeah. Real piece of shit guy, yeah. Real piece of shit guy. I actually went around his house one time and we played a board game called Fucking Schlag. Yeah, a board game called Fucking Schlag. That's the game I went around his house to play. Fucking Schlag. Yeah. Fucking crazy guy. And he told us in the office, he was like, yeah, he was talking about BDSM. He's like, don't get those fake handcuffs, you want real handcuffs, stuff like that. That's the kind of shit he was talking to me about at work. I remember one time he said, oh, Grant, can you get me one of those really long network cables? And it was like a 10-meter long network cable. And, he gave me this weird look. Like he had a plan to go use it on Clara or something like that. Yeah, tie her up with a long network cable. Just to drag, just trying to wind me up. Anyways, I got to the point where I had everyone in the room hating me. Literally the entire office. And it seemed like the entire hospital hated my guts because I disapproved of what was going on. And I was the only one in the entire hospital. I was the only one who was making a noise about it. I was telling Clara, I was like, and I said to Clara, I told her that I wanted to be with her, basically. Yeah, I told her I wanted to be with her. And I was younger than her. I was like yeah, I'm probably about 8 or 9 years younger than her, maybe 10 years younger than her. But anyway, I just wasn't happy seeing what was going on, and it was driving me crazy. And basically, I didn't, and that's the thing, a bunch of people, I just see people with absolutely no morals whatsoever, like they're worshipping a guy for what? They think he's great for what? For being a scumbag. And that's the thing, I think at one point he got her pregnant and she had an abortion. No one confirmed that with me, but I'm pretty sure that happened. I remember the day he came in and he'd been crying. He'd obviously been crying all night because I could hear it in his voice. When you cry a lot and, like you get that really like phlegmy sound in your chest and your throat. And he had it and I had it as well. It's crazy. Like, I remember I was sitting in the office and the guy came over to me and told me a joke and I started laughing and he could hear it and he was like, it's like, oh shit. You could tell, like, I'd obviously been through a lot of stress. Even though I was sitting in my seat laughing my ass off, he could tell that, like, they could tell something was wrong with me. Anyway, yeah, no, it was the way it happened, and the fact that he's a real piece of shit, and she seemed like a real, she seemed like a bit of a sweetheart, but to be honest, I think I realized that she was really a corrupted woman, and the fact that I didn't ever get involved with her, great. Yeah, I mean, she was a woman with a lot of problems. Yeah. So, and I think that's the thing, basically I had everyone terrified because they didn't know what I was going to do. They were absolutely, the entire, and Neil, he felt, I had him really stressed out because he didn't know what I was going to do about the situation that was happening. Because obviously, he had a wife and kids, he lives in a nice house, obviously didn't want me spilling the beans on him or anything like that. But I never said anything. I just made him think that I would. I was very angry about the situation. I felt very, yeah. And that's the thing, back then I felt kind of bad. I felt kind of stupid for it all happening, but that's the thing. I know who I am. I'm God. That all happened before I started reading the Bible. It was only when I left that office. It was about a couple of weeks before I left the office. I quit my job. I handed in my notice because I was just fed up, tired working there. I was tired of working there. And it was about the time. It was just after the Brexit vote, and just before Donald Trump got elected. Because I was betting on those outcomes and I made a lot of money. But anyway, and that's I made a bit of money, so I left my job and I did trading for a bit. I tried my best at it. But anyway, I did some real crazy shit. Let's put it that way. But I won't go into specifics. But anyway, yeah. I mean, it's just really sad, really, because this woman had been really flirtatious with me. It was driving me crazy, and I just wanted her to leave me alone because I'm already, I'm hurt, I'm damaged, and I'm standing there looking like a freaking hobo. I'm like, oh, do you know what I mean? I look like I haven't shaved for, I don't shave, and my hair's a mess, you know, I stink probably, and you know what I mean? Like, it's like, fuck off, like, why are you flirting with me? It's like, go away. It's like, or whatever. It's like, you know, I wanted to be left alone. I was tired of being harassed. You know, I just wanted to keep things polite. I keep things simple with people. I didn't want any, you know, stupid games being played. And that's what happened. You know, it's just constant game playing, games, drive me wild, drive me crazy. I drove her crazy. We all drove each other crazy. It was just a massive, you know, it was chaos. It was madness. Absolute fucking madness. And so that's why I left. And I never looked back. I never went back to an IT job after that. I thought, fuck it. You know what? I did my thing for 3 years, and then after that, I thought, fuck it, I'll go be a van driver. Let's do something different. I don't want to work in an office anymore. So, you know, as a van driver, you know, I was driving around all different places. You know, I'd say hello to people. Hey, how are you? You know, and I'd collect the parcels and off I'd go. You know, and I'd be sitting in my van listening to the radio all day. Getting exercise. You know, seeing outdoors, getting around, having a look at the place, you know. And it was during the COVID pandemic. Yeah, as soon as I got that job, COVID pandemic. Yeah. And, you know, I took 6 months off from that job, and then I went back to it again. And then the first week I went back there, I was